Let's be clear, Joe is doing just great. He's actually doing well by the end of Season 4, having reclaimed his true identity and starting a new altruistic life with Kate. But there are so many unexpected turns in the end that it's amazing how well it was resolved. In the opening scenes of the epilogue, Kate confesses to Joe that she feels like her father owns her, listing instances where Tom has ruined her relationships and thrown open innumerable doors for her throughout her career. Joe was recruited to kill Rhys earlier in Part 2 by Tom Lockwood, who is undoubtedly a villain who used Joe's familiarity with his history against him. Then, though, Joe's fantasy of Rhys prompts him to decide that Tom should be murdered. Pretending to be Kate, he texts Tom to set up a meeting to discuss, and when Tom arrives at the workshop, Joe ambushes him with chloroform and binds him up. But after Tom's bodyguard Hugo breaks in and is killed by Joe, Tom has a very direct conversation with Joe about Kate and her privilege. It's clear that Joe doesn't like it, so he suffocates Tom, murdering him, and then moves £2 million of Tom's money to make it appear as though Hugo had forced Tom to do it after kidnapping him. Tom is thus blamed for Hugo's death. After cleaning up the crime scene and getting rid of Hugo's body, he goes to a bridge to confront his imagined apparition of Rhys. Joe pushes him off the edge of the bridge when he declares his love for him. Up until this moment, his dark side had been charismatic. Now, however, it is needy. He had intended to kill himself, but instead wakes up in the hospital with Kate by his side and declares his love for her. Joe reflects, if I've got another shot, I can't start by lying. And he appears sincere with Kate, informing her about his failed suicide attempt and how he's a serial killer. However, Kate subsequently claims that she learned via her father's lieutenant that the DNA found on Rhys's body is Joe's, and she later acknowledges that she inherited everything from her father. She then suggests that, despite the fact that they both know they aren't, we keep each other good, and she begs Joe to support her during her difficult moments by promising to support him in return. When Kate presses Joe about his past, he finally admits that he is Joe Goldberg and not Professor Jonathan Moore. This seems to be all Kate needs to start a new life with him. In the climax of the episode, we see how the two created the news cycle to make it possible for Joe to come back to America. He claims that with the assistance of Kate, a cybersecurity team, publicist, and Cynthia, Tom's old lieutenant, search results have been deleted. News archives have been compromised, and the Matter Linda chief of police has been bought off so that Joe can erase everything. As the season finale comes to a close, Joe and Kate are undeniably making the rounds of the media. We see another interview go down while the reporter questions Joe about his past and their newfound interest in philanthropy. In addition to learning that Joe spontaneously acquired a shutting bookstore, they have established a foundation in the intention of founding art schools in New York and London. Could this be the Season 1 bookstore? As Kate says that their future plans are primarily centered on transforming the world, Joe teases getting married to Kate, but his narration points out that he hasn't stopped killing at all. He actually has more access to resources, money, and cover-ups, allowing him to proceed unharmed. The last scene of Season 4 is a genuinely spooky shot of a smirking Joe, as smug as ever, while he claims that he is merely more honest about killing now. We also catch a glimpse of Rhys in the window reflection. As for the other members of Kate's affluent London social circle, we learn that Blessing and Sophie acquired Sundry House after Adam passed away. That Sophie's social media presence is still expanding. That Connie only spent 9 days in rehab. And that Roald returned to London after shooting a close friend. Yet, his family naturally managed to hide it from the media and cover it up. In a pleasant change of circumstances, Phoebe relocated from London to teach English to pupils in primary schools in Thailand, where she now lives peacefully in anonymity. I sincerely hope the video was enjoyable for you. Whenever you can, please leave a comment. Click the channel's bell icon when you're finished to subscribe and keep viewing. To help the channel, kindly leave a like as well. I appreciate your time and thought. We will return soon.